enough for the wise. Now to our next story. You know, in law, ex parte refers to motions for orders that can be granted without waiting for a response from the other party or side. Recall that the Supreme Court and Chief Justices had consistently maintained that ex parte orders must be used sparingly to avoid abuse. Now, Senate President Godswill Akpabio, himself a lawyer, has urged the National Judicial Council, NJC, to check the excesses of judges who misuse ex parte orders. He has called for the integration of technology in Nigeria's justice system, noting that, like in other sectors, technology can be used to harness the nation's justice sector to curb delays and backlogs. Being experienced currently, Asukwa, Chris Wandu is a lawyer, so he knows what we are talking about here. Ex parte motions.
Yes, I totally agree with the Senate President on this. It's obvious that most of our judges, for whatever reason, try to misuse the power given them. It has been said time and time again that after God, judges somehow are the next God.
And referees.
Yes, and referees. Yes, no, even referee is still okay, but that of judge, a referee cannot sentence somebody to death. A judge can sentence somebody.
A referee can sentence a game to death for you.
Yeah, it's a game. I'm talking of human life. I'm talking of human life. Okay. I'm talking of human life. Okay. Somebody will say, you are hereby sentenced to death.
Yeah.
You'll be hanged until your leg begins shake. You know, and that is it. If it's the final court, which is the Supreme Court, that is it. Except we are granted pardon by either the governor or the president, as it were. So most often that our judges try to use it. And the classical example, I'm sure why the Senate President is saying this, is because what just happened between Ganduje and the local APC within his words, where a judge granted an ex parte order without listening to the other party. Let's get something wrong.
It does not need to listen.
No, it does. That's what I'm saying. Let's get something right. There is no, within the law, when it comes to ex parte order, the court does not necessarily need to wait for the other party. The essence of an ex parte motion is to be able to prevent somebody from an injurious action.
Okay.
If you understand. Let me give you a classical example, citizen. If the local government in your house decide to come and demolish your house, and they've been given an order that your house will be demolished tomorrow, okay? And you know that you have all the necessary papers in place, including your CFO approval and the rest of them. And you know that if you don't do anything, they will come and demolish that house.
Yeah.
You run to the court and ask a judge to give you an ex parte order, putting a stop, a temporary
binding on
the authority that don't do what you want to do tomorrow.
Okay.
Come before me and prove that what he did was wrong. That order must be obeyed. And it's supposed to last for 7 days, 14 days. But do you know what some judges have done now? They have extended it to about 28 days. Some as far as even months. And say this is wrong. So you see a situation where something will happen in Abia. Somebody will go to Medugri to go and get an ex parte order. It's not possible. So, and what I know about this is that there is always an undercurrent endorsement and inducement of the judges.
Okay.
By the person that is seeking the order, by actors within the case. And they play political actors. Not only political actors. When you are saying it's not only political actors, it's only political actors that get this. There have been instances where some individuals, corporate entities, and the rest of them have gone to court. And what he's saying in essence, no, this must not continue. And it is things, and I think it is high time that the NJC, who is the supervising authority of this judges, make an example of 1 or 2 judges.
Yeah. Okay.
Because if we don't, and we continue to, this is not the first time. Several times this has happened. And eyebrows have been raised, and now the judge has now lifted the order. But if there was some colossal damage would have been done to the individual in place. So those are the issues. So it's not like it is part of the law. It is part of our law. But the problem is that how do we use it? How effectively do those judges use those? They are recklessly using it in a way and manner that is not
exactly
is not good enough.
I suppose the judiciary can help out here.
Yes, that is why the NJC is there. You know. Not to talk of what Akpabio said, you know, that, okay, they should just look, the NJC should look into it and all that. Politicians will always want to look at the loopholes and then find how they will always use. And that is why they are using some of these judges, you know, for their own gains and their own benefits, you know. So where the NJC is supposed to come in is to say, because in 2018, Justice Karafati, the Abu Karafati, Kafarati actually, you know, sent a memo out banning even justice and judges from, you know, giving exparte
motions. Yeah.
And since then, the thing came down a bit, but right now I think it's now a norm. Somebody will stay in Abia, he will go to Kebbi to go and collect exparte motion.
But the situation is not helped by lawyers.
No, of course, no. It is. You won't blame a lawyer. A lawyer is like somebody who is looking for a job. If he comes to you and says, if you go to him and say, "Guy, I want this to be done. I'm in trouble. Can you help me? Is it possible?" I'm not sure there's any lawyer that will say no. He will say, "Okay, I will find a way around it." You know, and that is what the same thing that
let me ask him: is it true?
He will always find a way around it, except maybe he has a conscience.
Citizen.
Yes.
During our school days, we are told that there's no case that a lawyer cannot take.
Okay.
There's no case. It is just, there's always...
Are you saying a lawyer cannot see that a case will get nowhere?
No, let me
if you go to police station, you always have...
Let me land on this. There have instances where the lawyer would tell his client, this is the likely outcome of this issue.
This is a bad case. Or
the client...
this is a bad case.
He can even tell you that he can always tell you that, oh, this is a bit tricky. And I may advise you that don't go this way or let us. The client will say, let us go ahead. You understand what I mean? Then you, as a lawyer, what do you do? But even at that, what I'm saying in essence is that there's no, even an armed robber that is caught with a gun is still taken as being innocent
until proven
guilty. That is the law. If you have any evidence between you to show that this person, you call this person in the act, is still a suspect. That's why we use the word suspect. So most of these issues is that, so it goes beyond the lawyer. Yes, the lawyer has to be paid, of course. A lawyer, why did he go to law school? Why did he go to read law? FCC and the rest. So there have been instances you see them taking certain cases to court. And at the end of it all, they've come to look at the one that happened to Adoke. Where at the end of it all, EFC they were the one that took the case to court. Only for them to say they don't have enough evidence. So what are we talking about? So, but let's just not lose the focus on this issue.
Yeah.
That is the issue of this
exparte
motions and other that. These judges, it's always one, especially those within the High Court. It is always the High Court. Most often, those exparte orders are not mostly given by Court of Appeal. It's always the High Court. High Court at the state and also federal level.
Yeah.
And something has to be done. The chief judges of the states, that of the federal High Court, as well as the NJC, can do something about it. And I continue to say that until we make example of people, shame them, then this thing will not stop. Because it is just easier for anybody to say, warn and say, nobody should do that. But if we have not brought anybody, we'll dismiss. Not only dismissing, prosecute. Because what we normally see NJC doing is that they'll just dismiss the person. But if we can dismiss and also prosecute them. There was some time ago that I remember a federal high court, about 1 or 2 federal high court judges were prosecuted. They were, yes. I don't want to mention their names. I know of a woman, a very, very high top federal high court judge. She's from River State. That she was prosecuted, although at the end of it, here and there, she was let off the hook. But we must continue to make it, because whatever action they take
the
can
trouble,
be so destructive.
The trouble is giving them soft landings. When you give an accused a soft landing, you are not punishing.
That's what I'm saying.
No, of course. Who gives the soft landing? It's the judge that gives the soft landing. But we are talking about this ex parte order, you know, and I think the NJC has a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Because if not, it will continue. I just remember during the 1993 June 12, it was an ex parte order that almost truncated the democracy.
It's almost truncated or truncated.
You understand? So
you forgot the days of ABN.
Yeah, because ABN. They went for an ex parte order
and got it.
You know. You know. So it was ex parte order that almost stopped the election. That they are still running.
And the Senate
it took a decree then, Decree 13 of 1993 for NEC to go back to the election and say, no, we have to continue with the election.
You know, the Senate president is talking about a backlog and long delays. Do you know so many cases are in courts dating back to the year 2000?
Yes.
2000. When you're talking of 2000, that are cases that let me tell you a classical example. Before you can get your case heard at the Supreme Court now, it will take not less than a year. Supreme Court. There have been so many cases, piling cases in small cities. And the same thing. The only solution is what Lagos State have started.
Okay.
Technology.
What
Lagos have done is computerize their system. Lagos State Judiciary is still the best in the country now. And I believe that other states can follow suit.
Yeah.
And that is why the dispensation of justice, and that is why we have to thank and praise successive governors in Lagos State, starting from Asiwaju to Fashola, to Ambode, and to the current governor. They've done so much for the judiciary. Yeah. But in some other states, you will surprise citizens that you go to court, as you're talking, the judge is writing everything that you say. Every single thing that you say, the judge must, if you say, please, hold on, he or she will write in every single, in these days of AI.
All right. So that's the story. We hope whoever is concerned will take heed.